1970s and 80s, sports sedan racing in Tasmania was booming. So much so that cars were split into two divisions. A car that was regularly on top of Division 1 was Leon Burdon's stunning VK Commodore sports sedan. Leon had his first race at Baskerville in 1961 and then successfully raced an EH sports sedan for a number of years, even against Peter Brock in his LJ Tirana. Leon then replaced the EH with a very successful 202 powered Gemini Coupe sports sedan that he raced into the late 1970s before taking a break from racing.
This is another section as we pick up Burton, in which the Gemini seems to shine. That's on the uphill run and through the twisty sections, but on that long back straight, Gowan's extra lengths. Well, certainly Gowan's knows he's in a motor race for a change. Invariably, he is able to scoot right away from the sort of opposition he's up against today. But as you can see, Burdon is hanging on like a little terrier.
During Leon's break, an ex-rental VK Commodore was converted into a Group C race car by Tim Smith with assistance from John Brookfield for abalone diver Tony Worth. Worth ran the car in street cars and Smith would run it in sports sedans with aspirations to try and do some Group C touring car races later on. However, this never happened. Leon was lured back into racing by the sale of the Commodore, which was sold to him as a rolling shell. Leon and his mates stripped the Commodore shell, converted into a VH model and repainted it yellow and white. To fill the vacant engine bay, Leon decided on a naturally aspirated Holden 202 with triple Webers. Leon explains that he had previous success with a naturally aspirated 6 in his EH and Gemini, so he decided to stick with what he knew. Leon also explains that everyone at the time was running 6 cylinders and that there was also a separate 6-cylinder sports sedan championship, so there wasn't really any interest in running anything other than a 6. In response to running the Holden engine in its normal position and not moving it inside the car as the sports sedan rules allowed, Leon says that at the time there wasn't the engineering capabilities there are today, and many of the mid-mount sports sedans at that time just didn't work. It was therefore decided to stick with the tried and true normally aspirated 2026 in the front of the Commodore and take out as much weight as possible. In 1984, the car was upgraded to the latest VK body panels and repainted red. Leon also approached local speed shop owner and sports sedan competitor Danny Newland about ordering some new wheels for the VK. Danny had just ordered a couple of sets of new Momo magnesium wheels for the Marlboro Holden dealer team's new Dayglow Commodores, so Leon got another set of these super rare wheels added onto the order for himself, complete with titanium wheel nuts. It soon became apparent that the Commodore needed more horsepower to keep up with the emerging V8 and evolving turbo 6-cylinder sports sedans.
This is Burdon. It's actually a 6-cylinder Commodore, not a V8 as it probably looks like. A little like the old dealer team Group C cars of yesteryear from the touring car ranks. He managed to finish second in the prelim this morning, so he's hot to trot. It's the yellow car in the background there, car number 14. He was the winner of the first heat. It's a turbo 6-cylinder Tirana and it flies.
Well, the rest of the field gridding up now as we speak. There's Burton's Commodore. Burton comes up on the inside as they exit the turn. But there's Sinclair going after the Mazda. Down towards the Goodyear sweeper. Oh, how easy it is.
The thing just about sits up and begs. It flies. Turbo Tirana through to the lead. Martin Sinclair, car number 14. Down to the left-hander, Crick still in second. Burdon in third, but only just. What's happening here? I think there's yellow flags out, and I suspect that Burdon went through under the yellow there, which is a little bit naughty.
Oh, well, it gets your television exposure.
Well, we've lost car number 14, Martin Sinclair. When I say lost, he's a long way back in the field, but he's not at the right end. So Burdon the leader, Crick driving up his exhaust pipe, and Matthew Springer comes into the ballpark in the green Tirana.
Excuse me, boys. Okay, Forsto's out of the way. And away goes Leon Burdon again down to the the Goodyear sweeper. Greg Crick has lost out in that run, and of course Matthew Springer in the Tirana still in third. I don't think those positions are going to chase. This could be interesting. How close does he need to be? Come through the turn, and Leon Burdon. Mazda switches the inside. Springer in a bit of stride back behind him, but Burdon will go on the winner, and does quite nicely from...
The decision was made to go down the turbo path rather than potentially upsetting the balance with a heavy V8. Leon employed the services of well-known engine builder Ian Tate, who also happened to build the Holden dealer team's engines, to build him a turbocharged 202. The new engine proved more than capable and produced 600 horsepower on high boost on Tate's dyno. For reliability reasons, Leon opted for a slightly smaller turbo and less boost, with the engine now producing a reliable 485 horsepower.
Happening on the back straight at the moment. Leon Burton flashes past Slater this time around. It's turbo 6-cylinder versus V8. Burton is very, very fast.
With the new configuration, Leon enjoyed further success and state championships.
A couple added since the event we saw earlier today.
Yes, well, Bruce Banks in his turbocharged rotary powered Escort, sitting in position 3 at the moment, and a good start to Leon Burdon in his turbo fuel injected Commodore. Just put him in front of Michael Elliott. Of course, he very nearly pipped Michael in the first race, but Michael just held on in his Fiat. So Leon Burdon has been a competitor.
A sports sedan series in which the points are very close.
Yes, Leon Burdon and Michael Elliott lead the series currently on 19 points. So whoever crosses the line here wins about $1,000 worth of goodies from Bob's Speed Shop.
Absolutely ferocious racing for the race lead up at the front. Coming towards half race distance, they're on lap 5 now. Leon Burdon, the airflow probably working fairly well on that high-placed wing. It's a fairly big wing, as you can see, and it's up where the airstream ought to do it some good. It has to be very big to work down at boot lid level because of the way the air peels off the rear window.
By the mid-1990s, however, the way forward in sports sedans was with advanced space frame or monocoque chassis and mid-mounted Chev V8s. So the last competitive outing for the Commodore was in 1995. The car remained in Leon's care and has been repainted back to its state championship winning livery. The Commodore still retains its original Lockheed brakes, Bilstein shocks, Harrop sway bars, control arms and linkages. The gearbox is a Super T10 4-speed and wheels a 16x10 BBS fronts and those super rare 16x12 Momo rears. The car now runs the BBS wheels on the front as one of the rare Momos was previously damaged. The body was significantly lightened in period, with the glass replaced with polycarbonate, many of the steel panels with fiberglass, and a basic lightweight alloy cage installed. All up, the car weighs around 1,000 kilos dry. The team even swapped fuel tanks between races, depending on how long they were, so they could run the lightest possible fuel tank. The engine is still the same Holden 202 red motor with Holden crank, Carrillo conrods and Cosworth pistons. The head is sealed to the block with O-rings and doesn't require the use of a head gasket. The head is particularly special and is one of 22 Phil Irving 12-port downdraft alloy heads made in 1973. The head features crane roller rockers, Wade camshaft, and is boosted by a Garrett turbo controlled by the original Motec ECU. This combination with 12 pounds of boost still puts out around 485 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. Leon's best time around Baskerville in period was a 54.68, a super competitive time even by today's standards. The car is still driven on track and is a regular feature at the Baskerville Historic Meeting, with nearly 80-year-old Leon now sharing driving duties with his son Roger.